Adam is dominating you in this relationship. Like, this is not even a 50-50 partnership. I wouldn't even say it's a 40-60. Hi guys, welcome back. Let's get into Married at First Sight season 20 episode 11. I'm already so sick of this episode. Oh my god. Okay, so we pick up right where we left off, which is with Sean and Nikki on the couch having the same conversation. It's just a continuation of the conversation, if I'm being honest. But as a small recap, they had that conversation earlier in the day where Sean basically implied that it was Nikki's wifely duty to pleasure him. This is exactly what he said. As a wife, I would expect you to notice your husband's needs and fulfill them. And he's sitting on this couch trying to say that he did not say that it was her wifely duty. He did not expect anything of her. He's saying that I don't know why I put quotes around saying, he is saying that he said, it would be great if you did, but if not, it's cool. That's not at all what you said, Sean. You can try and gaslight the crap out of her. You're not going to sit here and gaslight me. Nope. And the editors are making sure of it because in the last episode, oh my God, I have something in my eye. In the last episode, they put up a clip. They put up a clip showing what it is that you said because you're sitting here trying to rewrite history. And it's not going to work. No. So Nikki's like, okay, so like, what is your expectation? Are you expecting for us to have been physical within the 3 weeks leading up to decision day? And he's like, I have no expectations. You're a liar. You are a liar because you do. That's why you keep bringing this up and pressing this issue. And Nikki's like, okay, but what is it that you're wanting? Like, and he like, what are your expectations? What does progress look like to you? And he's like, I really don't know. You are lying, Sean. You are lying. You do have an expectation of something. You do know what progress looks like to you. You're sitting here talking about, well, surely not at the end of this. I'm not going to be like, yeah, let me stay married to someone who I'm platonic with. Exactly. So you are wanting something. Say what it is that you want. Man up. Like, what are we doing? Why are we playing this stupid game? Nikki's not a child. She's trying to get you to say what it is that you want. Say what you mean what you say. Please. Like, we're all so sick and tired of this web that you're weaving, these stories that you're spinning. We're sick and tired of it, dude. Like, you're like, oh, well, if we're both feeling the vibe and we're feeling good and we want to touch each other, then great. If we want to kiss, then great. But I have no expectations. Yes, you do. You're getting on my nerves. You're getting on my absolute last nerve. I don't even know if I have any nerves left for you to get on. At this point, you're just pissing me off. So then Nikki is like, well, I feel like there's a velocity difference here. And Sean has the audacity to seriously sit there, look her in her face and say, I don't know what velocity means. Didn't you get your doctorate? Dr. Sean? You know what velocity means. And Nikki's like, you know what velocity means. Don't be like that. And he's like, well, in your last relationship, did you measure velocity? She probably didn't need to because she probably didn't have somebody pressing her for sex every 5 seconds, dude. Like, I don't know what it is with you, but I need for you to get it through that thick brain. You don't even have hair on your head, so it shouldn't be that thick to get through. That she doesn't want to do this right now. And you keep pressing the issue, and it's only making it take longer. It makes you guys take 5 steps back because you don't know how to just be in a relationship. Just because you are married to somebody does not guarantee you access to their body whenever you want it. It does not guarantee sexual favors whenever you want it. All it is a marriage. The other person still has to consent. I don't know what it's going to take for you to understand that, but you need to learn to understand that. So we calm it down a little bit with Michelle and Cameron going to see Dr. Lisa for the first time. And there's not much to really touch on with their little appointment. They're very happy. They like each other so much. And it comes up like the difference between like and love because Dr. Lisa's like, are there feelings of love? And Cam's like, well, I don't really know what the difference between like and love is. So I'm not sure. And she's like, well, I don't know if there's really a line where you cross over. So I want you to reflect internally. And then it got me thinking about it a little bit. Like, what really is the difference between like liking somebody a lot and loving them? And for me, I think it's easy to like somebody because you can stop liking them at any given point. I think when you know you love somebody, there is a certain level of care there that is just all encompassing, where even on the days where you don't like that person very much, even in the moments where you don't like that person very much, you still love them deeply. You still care about them deeply. And you're like, even though in this moment I cannot stand you, I would do anything for you, even still. And that's platonic and romantic. I think that feeling is just love. You know, even when you're friends, when you guys have a falling out, it's like, I don't like you right now because of X, Y, and Z, but I don't want anything to happen for you. If you called me and said that you needed something, I would still be there because I still love you. And just like with your partner, it's like, okay, well, you've really done me wrong at this point, but I still love you. And that's the part that is hard to end, is that care. It's like, how do you just stop loving somebody? The question is, how do you just stop caring about somebody? So Courtney and Nick are in their apartment, and Nick, it seems, has just come home from work. And so Courtney is like, welcome home, and runs up to him and gives him a hug. And the whole living room area is filled with candles. And so she brings him over to the couch. They sit down. And she's like, you know, if you walked in and you saw this, what's your thoughts? And he's like, I love it. And she's like, see, I hate it because this is not me. Like, if this wasn't homework, I would hate it. Like, I wouldn't be doing this. And it's like, girl, why do you say stuff like this? Like, you really do just kill the mood. You don't have to say everything you think. It's okay to just like shut up sometimes, truly. Or to just say something nice or be like, oh, I'm so glad you liked it. Or something. They have a bowl on the table and it's filled with like sheets of paper that have questions slash prompts, and they're supposed to pull one, answer it, or talk about what the prompt is. And the goal is to bring intimacy. So we learn that Nick would like to know like if his parents are proud of him. That's like what he answers as far as what's a question that you would like to ask your parents. When Courtney is asked about a past relationship, she talks about how when she was cheated on, and she said that they were on FaceTime and she saw a girl on his bed in the background. And I'm like, girl, what? And his excuse was that they were doing homework. And I'm like, wait a second. If he's using homework, how old were you when this happened? Like, were you a teenager? Was this in college? Because at this point, I have a lot of questions. Because if this is the case, then like, this means that you've been holding on to this for a long time. And I know I've been saying everybody needs therapy, but if you've really been holding on to it for as long as I think you have, you really need some. You really, really do. So the goal of this is to bring them closer together, to be more intimate without the physical aspect. And they do seem to be a little bit warmer as it keeps going. And it ends with them actually like making out on the couch. Nick was like, I'm gonna kiss you now. And he like leans over and they start making out. I know they said they're hitting the reset button, and that's supposed to mean like, oh, we're starting fresh, things are gonna be so great. I have a hard time buying it though. I really do. Courtney just has like this cold shell about her. And I just think that she needs to get rid of it. Like, if you want any hope of somebody being like intimate and opening up to you the way that you want, you need to provide an environment that feels comfortable for them to open up and to feel like they can be vulnerable with you. And when you have a cold shell like that, that's not that kind of environment. It's not very welcoming. It's not inviting. It feels much more like stay away. It's very standoffish. And you need to be like, come closer, tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. That's the vibe you need to give off. So we catch up with Tori and Felipe visiting Felipe's apartment. And I'm not gonna lie, when they walked in, I was like, I don't know if I believe that you actually live here. And I'm still not fully convinced that he actually lives there. It doesn't feel very lived in. There's only like one personal item that we saw, which is his gaming setup in his bedroom. And even that was just a desk, two screens, and some colorful lights around it. And I'm like, as someone who does have a proper gaming setup, I'm not buying it. I'm just not. I know it's possible that maybe he really does live there and it was just that clean and that well decorated and put together, but it does not scream a bachelor pad, which is definitely what he has. I don't care what anyone says, that he has a bachelor pad. I just don't think that was it. I don't think we saw his real place. That may have been his sister's place. And they put in like, you know, a little gaming setup to be like, Felipe does live here, in fact. I don't buy it. I don't. It was I believe it more if they said that was Tori's apartment and not Felipe's. Like, that's the kind of vibe it gave off. But, you know, whatever. They're sitting on the couch talking about their future and how they would need to break their leases to move in together. Felipe did not seem thrilled about moving in together right after deciding to stay married if that's what they chose. And I think that's weird. Like, if you're married, why would you not move in together? I have questions for you, Felipe. That didn't sit well with me. But on top of that, they're also talking about having kids because Tori's like, we need a small yard at least, because he's asking her about living downtown. And he's like, oh, for the kids. And she's like, well, yeah. Do you want kids, or are you just saying that you want kids because I want kids? And he's like, well, You know, if the person that I'm with and I love wants kids, then I could see that being a very fulfilling life. And I don't know if this is a controversial opinion or not, but I don't think you should have kids unless you 110% want kids. You should not be having kids just because your partner wants them and you're on the fence about it. Kids are a massive commitment. It is so much work. If you're on the fence, don't do it. Don't you dare do it. It is so much work. So much. So Mecca and Beljolie are in the studio, which I guess it's basically just so she can sing on camera for a little bit and then they get to a serious conversation about what happened the night prior, where they're hinting around a disagreement they had. And in their confessionals, they then talk about it. And Beljolie apparently had an attitude because she didn't get much sleep the night before because they were out until 4:30 in the morning. What are y'all doing out at 4:30 in the morning? So they went out the night before, and I guess at like maybe 3 in the morning, Beljolie told Mecca that she's ready to go home. And he doesn't believe that that's the point, that she really wanted to go home. He believes that it happened earlier and she just didn't say anything. I don't know why he would think that. Like, she's a grown woman. She's going to communicate as she sees fit. So if she said it happened when it happened, just believe her versus trying to like find something to disagree about. I don't know. That's weird to me. But apparently it was 4:30 in the morning when they got home. That's crazy to me. I would have an attitude also, because why do you have me out at 4:30 in the morning? What were y'all doing at 4:30? Where were y'all at? I have so many questions about why they were out at 4:30 in the morning, but that's neither here nor there. So they're having this disagreement, and Mecca feels like he's in trouble. And it leads me to believe that when he was a child, if there was a disagreement or whatever, then that meant that he was in trouble for disagreeing, because he seems to not understand that you can disagree without being a bad child, as he was saying. And it's like, no, you can disagree. Like, it's your right to disagree. Like, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, their own feelings. So if you disagree, then you just disagree. That just is what it is. He's like, well, I feel like I'm in trouble. Like, I'm a bad kid. And it's like, you're not a bad kid. You might be in trouble for keeping her out until 4:30 in the morning, but that doesn't make you a bad person just because you guys are having a disagreement. It's completely normal. And I just wonder what in the world happened when he was a kid. Like, were you actually being punished for disagreeing with the adults? And so now you feel like you can't have a disagreement because that means that you're in trouble? I think they need another session so they can work through that a little bit. So Caitlin and Devin are having a nice little at-home date night where Devin has set up basically like a Harry Potter night, because apparently Caitlin is a Potterhead. So they're gonna make chocolate frogs. They end up making chocolate strawberries also. He made like an Irish stew. And they also were making their own butterbeer and doing some drawing, I think. So Caitlin seems very into the idea, the activity. She's very excited. They seem like they're having a really good time. And in Devin's confessional, he said something which I thought was interesting, which then led me down a train of thought, which he said that he's tapping into her interests and now he's hoping that she will do the same and just start to see him. And that made me think, because some people don't feel like they need to show an interest in their partner's interests and hobbies in order to be connected. Whereas some people feel like, in order to truly know me and to feel connected to me and for me to feel connected to you, you need to show interest in my hobbies. And if those people do not align, you will never truly be satisfied, right? So I am a person that's like, I would like for you to show at least a little bit of interest in the things that I am interested in. But I am also a person who likes to show interest in the things my partner is interested in. And clearly Devin is like, I want you to show interest in what I'm interested in. And so in turn, he's showing interest in things that Caitlin's interested in. But if Caitlin is a person who does not feel like her partner needs to like some of the same things that she likes and needs to show interest in those things, then she's not going to show interest in the things that Devin likes. So I feel like that's a conversation they need to have. Is it important to you that I show interest in the things that you're interested in? Because if her answer is no, then he can go ahead and know right now that she's not going to show interest in the things that he's interested in. Otherwise, there's always going to be an imbalance for him. That's just my thoughts, my 2 cents. But their date was really cute, and it seemed like this put them on a really good playing field, a good place. They both think they're Gryffindor. Maybe. I'm Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff is the best house. I don't care what anyone has to say about it. But Devin does say that on camera, Caitlyn is showing a lot more affection and she's trying, but off camera, she's still not giving anything. He even made a point to be like, say good morning to me, give me a hug. And I'm like, dang, she's not even saying good morning to you. So y'all really are just like living two separate lives in the same house. That's crazy. If that is actually true, that's really crazy. Adam and Marissa ride up on a jet ski to meet Nick and Courtney to play pickleball. And I must say, I saw this coming. I saw it coming. Marissa in her confessional is complaining because she doesn't really like the jet ski. It messes up her hair. And she also doesn't really like pickleball like that. And now she's complaining. Marissa, you haven't used your voice this entire relationship. Like, you've just been going with the flow with Adam, just letting whatever happen. What did you think was going to happen at this point? He's dominating you. Speak up. Use your voice to be like, I would rather drive over there than ride on the jet ski. I would rather not play pickleball. So then they start playing pickleball and she's not good at it, which is fine. Like, she doesn't have to be a pro, but Adam does want her to be a pro. Nick and Courtney are actually, I guess, pretty good or pretty decent. I don't know anything about pickleball, so I can't judge their skill level. But as Marissa is not doing great, Adam just kind of takes over the whole side of the court that they're on and just has her standing towards the back. And it's like, this is not fun for her. Like, you really are just pushing her to the side. You're competitive. That's number one. Number two, it's clear that she's not having fun. And she has said like 3 times, like, I need a snack. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And so finally they do break for a snack break, but it's like Adam is dominating you in this relationship. Like, this is not even a 50-50 partnership. I wouldn't even say it's a 40-60. It's very much like a 95-5. 95 being Adam controlling this whole relationship. You haven't spoken up and you're still not really speaking up. I knew this would all get on your nerves eventually, but you have set the precedent that he can do whatever he wants. He can make the decisions for you guys however he sees fit, and that you're just going to go along with it. And you're still going along with it even though you're miserable right now. Like, it's about time for you to start using your voice and speaking up. It's not keeping the peace at all. If anything, it's just delaying the inevitable and actually creating an argument later on down the line. Because if you would speak up when things are bothering you, it will help diffuse a situation and diffuse smaller situations versus you just building until you have a much larger situation that now you're wanting to speak up about. And now it's going to seem to him like you're blowing up because you're bringing 15 different issues to the table when you could have brought one at a time as they were happening. So as they stopped for their break, they're having a little conversation, and we're starting to see that I really think Marissa is afraid of rocking the boat at all, because Courtney's asking, so have you guys talked about where you're going to live? And Marissa's like, yeah, we're going to live at his place for like a year to save up for a house payment. And now she's saying a house payment, he's saying a jet ski. And so Courtney's like, what's it like? And Marissa's like, it's fratty, but it's cute. It's just fratty. But it's cute. I love it. And it's like, you don't have to love it. It's okay for you to have a differing opinion. It's okay for you to be like, it needs a woman's touch. It needs a lot of work. It does need a lot of work. There's a tarp for the roof. It needs a lot of work. Like, it does need a woman's touch. You have a lot of work to do. And it's so funny because you can see in Courtney's face as she's learning more and more about Adam, she's like, actually, you're not as attractive as I thought you would be. And you can just see it in her face. And it's very funny because he's not attractive. But Marissa's just so scared of rocking the boat. I need for her to, like, I don't want to say grow some balls, but, get some guts. Get a voice. All right, Nick and Courtney need to stop playing. They do, because Marissa asked Nick about his house. And he's like, I have 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. And Marissa was like, whoa. And she's like, that's great. You can have like a glam room talking to Courtney. And she's like, oh, like me move in? And it's like, yes, girl, you move in. What did you think she was saying? You're married, aren't you? And it's so clear that she does not want to be married to him. And she's like, well, I'd rather live in Oregon if I want to have kids. And all 3 of them were like, Oregon is the Walmart of Seattle. I've never been to Seattle or Oregon, so I can't say, but I'm going to trust them. I mean, they live there, so apparently Oregon is not that great. She still feels like she just needs to live in Oregon when she has kids. I understand wanting to be close to family. It does make a difference. But you also have to compromise with whoever you're married to. Like, it just, maybe that's Courtney's problem, or one of Courtney's problems, is compromise. Maybe that's like an issue that she has, that she's not very willing to compromise. I'm not sure, but also she just doesn't like Nick. Like, that is the root of this entire thing, is she does not like Nick. She likes Adam. Even in her confessional, she's like, Adam's a little bit bizarre, but I'm a little bizarre. He has like young energy, and I like young energy, but I don't know if that works well as a husband. I don't know if you can do that forever, but he might try. And it's like, you like him. And I don't know why you like him, but you do. You just don't like Nick. It's weird. It's very weird. And now we know why Marissa's like this. So she says that she's having trouble leaving like past relationship grief behind, meaning that like in her past relationship, if everything wasn't perfect, she'd basically be in trouble. I'm like, Marissa, you're doing it again. And she's like, I'm trying not to fall back into that. And I'm like, but you are. Like, you're people pleasing. Stop. And then she goes into Adam has strong hobbies, meaning he likes to do pickleball. He likes to jet ski. He has his group of friends. And she was like, I don't have strong hobbies. She was like, I don't have strong hobbies. I like to go to happy hour. I have friends. And she's like, okay, well, if Adam doesn't want to come, then okay. And the thing is, Marissa, he's not going to. Why? Because he doesn't drink. He's not going to go to happy hour. He doesn't drink. And this brings us all the way back around, right? Because one of your hobbies involves drinking. Adam does not drink. Remember earlier when you were like, oh, I thought it would be a problem, but it's actually been great. And I said, it's too early to say that because of this right here. Now one of your hobbies involves drinking. And you're like, but he's not going to want to do that. He's not. And that's where you decide, is this a hobby that I really want my husband to come along with? Or is it a hobby that I'm fine that he doesn't partake in? And that's a question she has to ask herself. I don't see it working out. So Caitlin and Devin are hanging out with some of Devin's friends on a rooftop where they're making like some steak tacos, looks like, and some guacamole. And when Caitlin goes to sit with his friends and Devin's at the grill with one of his other friends, Devin is talking to her and they're talking about his relationship with Caitlin. And I actually feel like I learned a lot and I understand Devin so much more now after hearing what he's saying. Basically, Caitlin is giving him absolutely nothing, right? So they don't ever really interact. They're just coexisting in the space. Every morning, Caitlin's already gone. She's already out the house. And like, not even a good morning, not a hug, not a goodbye, nothing. She's already gone when he wakes up. And they don't ever cuddle. There's like not really hugs. There might even be pillows in between them in the bed. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, this really does feel like a roommate, maybe even less than a roommate situation, honestly. And I just feel like, Devin is giving a lot. He is compromising himself a lot of who he is. He even said that he's not making jokes because sometimes she doesn't even laugh or acknowledge them. And I'm like, well, that's kind of rude. Like, at least acknowledge what the other person has said. Even if you don't think it's funny, acknowledge, And so I feel like he is like dimming a lot of himself and changing a lot of himself to be accommodating to what Caitlin wants or needs. And I don't think that's fair to him at all. So he wants someone who like wants him, and I can't blame him. Like, give the man a hug, give him a kiss, tell him good morning. Don't just get up and leave. Don't sleep with pillows in between the two of you. He even said they're not even sharing blankets, like the comforter on the bed. That's crazy to me. They are not going to make it at all. And they shouldn't. Like, if this is how you're being, you're not ready to be married. You probably shouldn't be married. I don't know. I kind of wonder, like, if there's something else that we're not being told about Caitlin. I don't have any suspicions about anything. So I'm not just like dancing around something. I really don't know, but I feel like we're missing something here because why are you so standoffish towards him? There's a difference between being independent and being what you're being. Like, you are being so uninterested. And I mean, I feel like even this is like truly how you treat somebody who's like not even your friend. This is how you treat somebody who you don't know at all. Like a blanket, I mean, a pillow in between the two of you, not even sharing a blanket. I don't know. I feel like he's compromising too much of himself, and I think he shouldn't. We already know it's not going to work out, so you may as well just stop doing that and be true to yourself. It's not going to make a difference with her. We already know that part, but it's not worth it, Devin. Just cut your losses. You'll find someone else who actually is willing to meet you where you are. I know earlier I used to call him so needy, but he's really not that needy. He's asking for basic things you would get in a relationship. And Caitlin's wanting to give none of it. Michelle and Cameron are on a date where she has blindfolded him and is feeding him different fruits like a chocolate covered strawberry. marshmallow with caramel sauce on it. But I'm disturbed because she then for the last one takes, I guess, I don't know if it's marshmallow fluff or icing, but she puts it around her lips so that she can kiss him. And I'm like, why didn't you just put it in your mouth? Like, you created such a mess. I don't know. It really grossed me out. And I can't explain why it grossed me out so much, but it just did. Like, just put it in your mouth. You didn't have to put it on your lips. I don't know. It's weird. I understand what she was trying to do. It's cute, I guess. But the execution was a huge miss for me. A huge miss. So it's time for another group dinner. I hope this one goes better than the last one. That's all I'm going to really say about it. But when Belgeli and Mecca walk in, they're dressed to the nines, as they normally are. And Dr. Paul says that he feels like it's very showy. He's not going to say performative, but it's very showy. And Dr. Lisa's like, I don't think so. And I'm with her. I don't think so. What I see when I see the two of them is two people who love fashion. That's what I see. And they're looking at this as a reason to step out, in outfits that you can't normally just like wear to wherever. But this is an occasion to step out and, dress a little bit nicer and better than usual. I don't think it's performative at all. I really just see two people who love fashion, and they are both people who love fashion. So Cam asked Nick, last time we were here, you guys were having issues with the physical touch thing. How are things going? Is it better? And Nick's getting into it, and Courtney just cuts him off and is like, we've made out a few times. He's really happy about that. Happy husband, happy life. Ha. And it's like, you really hate this man. Like, you really do. And do you know that, like, you don't have to make out with him? If you don't want to be here, you don't want to do this, stop doing it. Leave. Like, you're making this miserable for everybody. If it's miserable for me to watch you, I'm sure everybody in that room is probably like, she does not want to be here. I'm sure they can feel it radiating off of you. So Nikki and Sean say that they're getting closer through all the conflict and things are really going well, and they've had some passionate kisses and cuddles. Nobody at the table seems to really believe that things are going well. I don't necessarily know that I believe things are going well. I do think they're putting up a facade personally. But then we get to Felipe saying that what is really nice about what they've been going through is that they know how they're going to argue. And he and Tori have not had an argument, so he doesn't know how they're going to argue, which makes it hard to say that he's going to marry her if he doesn't know how they argue together. And he's like, and Adam and Marissa, I don't know if you guys have had an argument or not. And before I get to Adam and Marissa, I think it's interesting that all of them are focusing so much on arguing. I think it's less about arguing. I think it's more about disagreement. Because my husband and I, we don't argue. That is one rule in our relationship, is that we do not argue. We can have disagreements, but we are not going to take it to an argument. Arguments are not productive. Disagreements, productive. Arguments are typically not productive because it's just both people trying to get their point across and trying to prove that they're right and like assert themselves. Disagreements, we each hear each other out. And I think that that is the differing factor. And I think they need to focus more on how they handle disagreements more so than how they handle arguments. So Adam and Marissa reveal that yesterday was their first hard day. And Adam really kind of minimizes what was going on and why it was a hard day by saying that it's because they went and played pickleball for 3 hours and they were on the jet ski going 65 miles an hour. And that it was just that Marissa was out of her comfort zone playing a sport that she's not very good at. And I think it's more than that. And as the conversation keeps going, we do learn that it's more than that. Marissa reveals that they've done everything Adam has wanted to do. They've played pickleball. They've hung out with his friends. They've done the jet ski. They've done all the things that he's into, and they haven't done anything that she's into. They haven't hung out with her friends. They haven't done a single dinner date. And it's like, ooh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And so Cameron asked a very good question of, does she need to have all the same hobbies as you? And Adam says, well, I didn't think that was important to me, but I had a girlfriend who did like the same things I liked. And it was great because we like joined a league. We went to the gym together. We pushed each other. And it's really important to me that I have somebody who I can like do something active with to push each other and get really good together. And that was some of the most fun I've ever had. So yeah, that is a must for me. And it's like, did you reveal that during the matchmaking session? Because they wouldn't have put you with Marissa. They just wouldn't have. And I think it's also, it's not a problem that that's what he wants. Everybody's entitled to have what they want. But to expect that out of her when she has not said that that's something that she's into, I do think is unfair. especially because it seems like you may have been kind of like pushing for it without actually having the conversation about it. But also, Marissa, you have not been standing up and speaking your voice. You haven't been speaking what it is that you want. You've just been going along with whatever Adam wanted. And that's part of the problem. And I don't know if she's scared, which maybe she is, because that conversation with Courtney where she was like, if everything's not perfect and it's like trouble, maybe, but I need for her to like get over that fear and realize that you're not going to get what you want if you don't open your mouth and say what you want. And obviously, she's wanting to have her turn. She's wanting to try and incorporate him in her life and just see what that's like. But Adam does seem like he has no desire to do any of those things. So I don't know what they're going to do about that. But that is where episode 11 ends. And I'm pretty sure we're just going to pick right on up with this conversation in episode 12. So I will see you guys in the video for episode 12. Bye!